Most personal finance content, it focuses on the destination. You hit that number, you cross the finish line, and you're set. But almost nobody talks about what happens once you actually get there. And that's what the research and the data constantly shows, right? Reaching $1 million or even becoming financially secure by any measure, it's almost nothing like most people expected. Not in a bad way necessarily, of course, but in ways that can catch you off guard if nobody warned you of them. Today, we're talking about all things that don't make the highlight reel, the psychology, the anxiety that doesn't go away, the relationships that change, and the habits that built the wealth that sometimes they work against you once you have it. My name is Rip. Welcome back, folks, to Rip Talks Money. I'm excited for this one. As always, do me a favor, hit that like button and let's get into this. We're going to start right here. Here's the thing. Nobody tells you, right? The moment itself, it's all underwhelming. You've been building towards this for years, right? Decades, maybe. And then one day, you open your account and the number is there. And then the alarm goes off the next morning. You make yourself a cup of coffee. Life continues exactly as before. Now, this isn't just personal experience. It's backed by wealth psychology research. Surveys constantly show that as net worth rise, so does the threshold people say that they would need to actually feel wealthy. You hit $1 million and the mental goalpost moves to 2 million. You hit 2 million and it moves again. This phenomenon right there got a name. The name is called psychology. We adapt to new circumstances, good or bad, and return to roughly the same baseline emotional state. The sense of arrival that you expected, it tends to last about as long as the notifications on your phone. This matters for retirement planning, specifically because a lot of people are building towards a feeling and not a number. They believe that at a certain bounce, that the financial anxiety will finally stop. And for many people, it doesn't, or at least not automatically. The feeling of financial security is built internally from clarity and structure, more than from any specific account bounce. Now look, the boring truth about how wealth actually gets built. Here's a second thing that tends to surprise people. The actual path to building serious wealth by 50 or beyond, it's almost insultingly ordinary. Not the hustle narrative, not massive risk taking, not picking the right stock at the right time. The data on how Americans actually become millionaires is remarkably consistent across decades of research. The pattern? Automatic contributions to retirement accounts, sustained over time, and low-cost index funds with a high savings rate and no catastrophic financial mistakes. About 80% of millionaires used a 401k to get there. About 89% of first generation. Not one person in a study of 10,000 people cited single stock investing as the key. The boring strategy isn't a fallback for people who couldn't find something better. It is the method. And it means the largest factor in researching financial security is not what you invest in. It's whether you can stay consistent without touching it for a long time, which creates an irony that nobody prepares you for. The same discipline that builds the wealth, the rule of don't touch the principal, it becomes the thing that works against you once you actually need to spend it. Here's the third thing that catches a lot of people off guard, and it's connected directly to retirement planning. Most people assume that once they hit their number, the financial anxiety, it just goes away. For many people, it actually changes shape, not necessarily gets smaller. A 20% market drop, it feels different when you have 1.2 million invested than when you had 40K invested. The dollar amount moving around is larger. The emotional weight of the decision goes up. Complexity has a way of finding you as wealth increases. Taxes, they become more meaningful. Asset allocation, it matters more. Estate planning enters the picture. More decisions mean more opportunity for things to go wrong. And your brain registers that as more risk, even when the fundamentals are solid. Behavioral finance research, it shows that loss aversion intensifies with wealth for many people. Losses hurt psychology about twice as much as equivalent gains feel good. And when there's more on the line, that asymmetry becomes more pronounced, not less. This is one of the key reasons many retirees underspend their portfolios. The very habits that protected and built the money, vigilance, caution, protecting the principal. It makes it difficult to do what the portfolio was built for, generating income and supporting your life. Look, the solution is structural, not motivational. Automating a monthly withdrawal so it shows up as a deposit, like a paycheck. It changes the emotional experience of spending. It converts an asset into income in the most practical sense. Now, here's one that almost never gets talked about in financial content, but you know what? It matters. As your financial situation improves, some of the people around you change in ways that you wouldn't fully expect. Some relationships, they become transactional. Some people see your success as a resource rather than an achievement. Requests arrive, financial, professional, personal, that wouldn't have existed before. And some of these come from people you generally care about, which makes it even harder. This isn't speculation. Research was published in the Journal of Economic Psychology. It found that wealth gaps between peers creates real social friction. And the wealthier person, they often end up managing that friction alone, navigating expectations, and shifting dynamics without a clear playbook. As your financial life improves, be thoughtful about who knows your business. Genuine relationships, they don't require a running update on your net worth. Let the people who were there before the number arrives stay in your inner circle. And recognize that any friendship that functions well without money as a variable, that is wealth worth protecting. And here's the final thing that I want to talk about. And it connects directly to how retirement actually goes for people who spend decades building financial scrutiny. The habits that built the wealth were built around accumulation. Protecting the principal. Don't spend if you don't have to. Save more than you spend and watch the number grow. These are excellent habits for building wealth. They are generally counterproductive for enjoying the wealth that you actually built. The retiree who watches every withdrawal, who feels the bounce drop each month, who can't bring themselves to book the trip or help the person they want to help, that retiree isn't protecting their retirement. They're just deferring the life their retirement was supposed to fund. Morningstar and multiple retirement researchers have flagged this as one of the primary failure modes of affluent retirement. Not running out of money, but living as if you already have. The portfolio finishes larger than it started, while the person lives smaller than they ever needed to. The antidote? It's structural. Build a written permission slip for your spending before you retire. Know your monthly income picture. Know your bucket. Know your emergency reserve. Make the decision once deliberately and follow the plan rather than remaking the decision every time you want to spend money. Now, here's what I want you to take away. Building financial security is generally worth doing. It creates options, it removes constraints, and it allows you to help the people and causes that you actually care about. But the version that most financial content sells and the permanent sense of security, that's not the actual experience for most people. More often, it's quieter. Sometimes it's lonelier and more psychologically complicated than actually expected. Knowing that before you get there, it means that you can prepare for it. Build structures that give you permission to spend. Stay connected to the relationships and the purpose that make the security meaningful. And stop waiting for the bounce to reach the number where you finally feel safe. Because for most people, that number just keeps moving. If this was useful, give it a like. It helps more people find this channel. Drop me a comment and tell me what surprised you more about your own wealth building journey. I read them all because we don't get a lot yet, but one day we will. I'll see all y'all on the next one.